Hello and welcome to Morning Call on this very Sunday, very sunny Friday in Hamburg. Hey, I'm Fab. This is Morning Call for Friday, of course, the 23rd of August 2019, episode 99, as it were, which means on Monday I'm gonna reach the 100th episode of this, which is pretty cool, I think. Anyway, let's get right into it. Iquick says, what's going on here? What's going on, I can tell you, is tech news. So let's talk about the tech news. So HP has a new CEO. The old one, Dion Weisler, is stepping down, moving back to Australia for family health reasons. It was said the new guy's called Enrique Lores, used to run their printer department, I guess. Printer part of the company, which is still very big. And they also had quarter numbers for the, I think the fourth quarter, like of the financial year. And basically nothing's changed. Their numbers are pretty much exactly as they were before. I think 0.5% higher sales, which is about the same, isn't it? It's peanuts, basically. Yeah, their stock fell a bit. Some people are saying because of the new CEO announcement. Some people are saying because their growth wasn't that big, although that was kind of projected as well by Wall Street. Anyway, that's all pretty much we can say about that. Just thought new HP CEO is worthy of reporting. In trade war news, Golem had an interesting story, basically saying Vietnam can't replace China. Sorry. Still battling with the allergies here. It's getting warmer again. It's like 25 degrees outside, so it's not going to go away for quite a while. Anyway, so Golem's saying China... So lots of companies obviously tried to move to Vietnam with production from China because of the US sanctions and trade war and all that. And it's not as easy as lots of people think, because basically they're very specialized supply chains in China that can't be easily replicated. There isn't that much, there's very specialized, Foxconn producing lots in China. There's very, very specialized, very expensive machinery that, to get US, basically security certification, you need very expensive machinery that's not there. Also, specialized workforces already getting thin on the ground. Not that many in Vietnam, so the whole moving to Vietnam thing doesn't seem to be an easy way out of the whole, avoiding China trade war problem for American companies. So Golem is citing here a guy who's running a company in Taiwan that basically connects external companies from outside the country with companies inside the country, like if they want to get manufacturing done. And he says he's getting about 20 requests per week, and basically there's a big culture shock when companies learn that there are no finished supply chains. There's no finished solutions there. as there would be in China, so they have to build them up. Also in the news for quite a while, MasterCard. MasterCard had a leak in a rebate program called Priceless Specials. And first they said they'd lost partial credit card numbers of 90,000 customers. This program, now it's basically been revealed that there's also a list with the full credit card numbers. So they're saying if you took part in the priceless specials thing and were part of mydeals.de, for example, in Germany, then you should request to basically block your credit card, have your credit card blocked, and then get a new one. MasterCard, kind of interesting how they're handling it. Coming out the first saying it's only partial numbers, now it's full numbers. You would think they would be proactive and cancel all these cards immediately and issue new cards to people, right? That's how you would think they would handle that. They're also saying it's not really their fault because it was an external company that lost it. But that's always like companies going, well, it's not our fault, it's an external company. Yeah, who hired that external company in the first place and didn't check them correctly, I assume? Yeah. Just a heads up, if you're a MasterCard customer and were part of that, probably better to cancel your card and have them issue a new one, or just be very careful on, keep a watch on your statement, which is always a good thing to do anyway. In the saga I reported on yesterday of that security researcher versus Valve and Steam, Valve has fixed the zeroday he reported. He's basically fixed both of them, he reported, and kind of said, we're a bit sorry about this. We updated the Steam client, and they also said they might reinstate him to their HackerOne campaign. They're basically saying it was a misunderstanding. The Valve saying we have updated our HackerOne. No, they're saying our HackerOne program rules are. This is from the register. Were intended only to exclude reports of Steam being instructed to launch previously installed malware on a user's machine, as that local user, Valve said in a statement to the register. Instead, misinterpretation of the rules also led to the exclusion of a more serious attack that also performed local privilege escalation through Steam. So they're saying misunderstanding. That's why they treated it that way. At least they responded to the register. That's not something Valve often does. Probably this made enough waves that they decided to issue a mea culpa. It's nice that they fixed Steam. That's good. Also, they're updating their rules. They're saying we have updated our HackerOne program rules to explicitly state that these issues are in scope and should be reported. They're saying they have reported in the past 2 years, they've reported 263 security researchers, corrected roughly 500 security issues, and paying out $675,000 in bounties, which, Valve should do. If you see how much money they make on Steam, well, we don't really know, but it's shitloads. What you can see is, like, for example, the money they put into the International every year, like their Dota tournament. Then you'd think security could get a little bit of that money. That would probably be good. Headline of the week, as so often, goes to the register this week again, with the brilliant headline, oh my god, it's full of tsars. A gun-toting Russian humanoid robot is on its way to the International Space Station. Subheadline, what could possibly go wrong? Well done to the register. Awesome headline. So this is a robot called Fedor, that's his nickname. And why are they saying it's gun-toting? Because there's a video of this robot learning to shoot Glocks, which is bloody scary. Can show you that. So this robot apparently fully capable of shooting at targets. This kind of looks a bit weird. It's got a Cylon kind of head. That's a bit scary. It doesn't look like it's moving really a lot. Also, like, what's the guy next to the robot doing? Is he like competing to the robot, shooting? Is the robot winning? Well, it looks like the robot can shoot, and it's now going to the ISS. So good news on that front. Also read somewhere that they're building a new docking facility for private spacecraft to dock on the ISS, which is interesting, probably because they need another docking facility than the Russian Soyuz, I'm guessing. I don't know. Why are they bringing the robot to the ISS? I should probably explain that. Not because it's going to shoot things. It's built for unmanned repairs outside. Dangerous repairs that the robot could do then, so astronauts don't have to do that. And there already was a NASA robot on the ISS. Also, it's 160 kilograms, so that's a lot of weight. Like, that's really expensive. Shooting a kilogram of stuff to the ISS really comes at a premium. Last news for today, and actually the week, is that Google is rebranding Android a bit. They're ditching the surnames, so Android Q will just be called Android 10. Speculation has it that they just couldn't find a dessert with Q. Which, I don't know. Quiche. You can have like dessert quiches, the sweet version. Would that work? Anyway, they're saying basically people couldn't figure out what Android version it was because L and R, for example, are similar in certain languages and stuff like that. They're also changing the Android logo. There's now an Android head in the logo, and the font face is black because apparently people with red-green problems and eyesight problems couldn't really tell. It was hard for them to read the green logo. I guess now they can read Android and just won't see the Android head or something. I don't know. Just something to be aware of. If you're running Android, it's now got numbers. I think that's a good idea. It's less confusing. I always found the whole dessert thing a bit whimsical as well. Like, putting the desserts in front of the Android campus there, it's not as cool as you think it is, Google. So that's it for today and for this week. No gaming news today. I thought I'd mix it up a bit. Also, Gamescom's kind of slowed down, I guess. It's like, the flurry of announcement on the first 2 days, basically, and then the rest of the week is just like reporters roaming the floor and trying to find crazy shit so that they can still get stories out. I was saying I wasn't sad not to be at Gamescom, but then I saw that Sabaton played there again. I was a bit sad that I couldn't see that. They were playing at the Wargaming stand again. They did that, booth. They did that 2 years ago, and I actually reported on that. I actually met them. Like, I was walking along with colleague Martin Fischer, ex-colleague from Heise. We were walking along, it was the first, the press day, and it was in the afternoon, so it was all closing down. Everybody was leaving, and it was really empty, and we were walking along, to the exit, and I, see two guys walking towards me, and I'm that's Joachim from Sabaton, right? You can't, even if he has, civilian clothes on, it isn't wearing the battle vest. I mean, from the haircut and the tattoo, you, immediately recognize him. And it was Joachim and Per. They were walking along, and I was like, "Hey, wait, you guys, hey!" And I said hello, and I'm like, "Can I have a photo?" And they're like, "Oh, sure." And I'm like, "What are you doing walking along?" And they're like, "Oh, we're just looking at stuff." I'm like, you realize that people recognize you. And Joachim was like, "Oh, you were the first one." And I'm like, "Okay." And then they were saying that the other band members were at the Wargaming booth, so I walked with Martin back there and, met the other guys as well. That was pretty cool. And their concert was great. They also had I don't know if they did that last year, but Wargaming has this player party at Gamescom for hardcore World of Tanks and World of Warship players. And they were playing a concert there, and that was really great. But the one at the booth was amazing. I mean, I think you could hear that on the other side of Gamescom. It was great. So they did that again this year, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you have a great Friday, last day of the week. Enjoy it. Thank God it's Friday. Have a nice weekend, and then I will meet you again on Monday for the 100th episode of Morning Call. And then, until then, have a good day. Primo Victoria.